Under the Indian Presidency, United Nations Security Council is set to discuss the volatile situation in Afghanistan. The announcement was made by the Indian envoy to the United Nations, T.S. Tirumurti, who is also the president of the council. He says in a tweet, the UN Security Council will meet on the 6th of August to discuss and take stock of the situation in Afghanistan. The development comes after the Afghan foreign minister requested the Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to hold a special session of the council on the situation unfolding in Afghanistan. The UNSC has already refused to support the restoration of the Taliban in the war-torn nation. At the customary presser by the UNSC president on the first working day of the council, the Indian envoy to the UN, T.S. Tirumurti, had said, and I quote, "The situation in Afghanistan is of deep concern to all members of the Security Council. We have seen in recent days violence is only increasing and targeted killing has now increased." He had also earlier highlighted that India supported every opportunity that can bring peace, security and stability to Afghanistan. And the question of violence and the targeted attacks should be addressed. As the Taliban and the Afghan army continue to fight to gain control over the capital of Helmand province, Lashkar-Gah, the United Nations has now raised deep concern over the safety and protection of tens of thousands of people in the provincial capital. Fighting between the Afghan forces and insurgents has been particularly heavy around the city of Herat, Lashkar-Gah and Kandahar in the south. There have been increased incidents of civilian casualties, destruction or damage to civilian houses as well as to critical infrastructure and hospitals. The UN has expressed concerns over the safety of residents who could be trapped by the heavy fighting.
Moving on to Afghanistan, I can tell you that we're deeply concerned about the safety and protection of people in Lashkar-Gah in the south, where tens of thousands of people could be trapped by the fighting. Our humanitarian colleagues also tell us that in Helmand and Kandahar, there are reported increased civilian casualties, destruction or damage to civilian houses, as well as to critical infrastructure, including hospitals. Hospitals and health workers are becoming overwhelmed by the number of wounded people. We, along with our humanitarian partners in Afghanistan, are assessing needs and responding to it in the south as access allows.
For more updates on this story, we are now being joined by our correspondent Susan Tehrani from New York. Susan, thanks so much for joining us. Now, the UNSC under the Indian Presidency will discuss the volatile situation in Afghanistan. We've also gotten reports recently of a media department head being killed by gunmen. What do you expect to be the outcome of this meeting?
So this is a closed consultation called by the two pen holders, Estonia and Norway, for the latest developments on Afghanistan, but also it follows a July 30th attack on a UNAMA compound, being the United Nations Assistant Mission in Afghanistan, and council members are expected to be briefed by the Secretary General's Special Representative to Afghanistan and the head of UNAMA, which will not only focus on the escalating violence, but also the impact it has had on civilians and also on, of course, this latest development as well. We're expected to see a harsher tone from council members. Some may condemn the Taliban outright, and others may say that it will be very difficult for the international community to even accept or acknowledge any regime that comes to power in Afghanistan through the use of force. They will continue to call for a cessation of violence and a realistic ceasefire approach to the ongoing violence. While this meeting is behind closed doors, council members have expressed worry regarding the latest developments in Afghanistan and have said that they will continue to call for an inclusive Afghan-led peace deal between the Afghan government and the Taliban. Obviously, we'll know a lot more after the meeting is convened here at the United Nations Security Council. What we do know, which is significant, is that the meeting will also be joined and participated by the new Afghan permanent representative to the United Nations, and he may have a press briefing here at the United Nations Security Council stakeout after the meeting.
Right, Susan. Now, international mediation so far has failed to reach any peace deal as the Taliban continues to make huge territorial gains. Does the US, as of now, have any strategy in place as the troop withdrawal is nearly complete?
The United States continues to move forward with its troop withdrawal and says that they continue to support the Afghan peace process and a peace deal inclusive to the Afghan people. They want to see an Afghan-led government. That has been their position. They say that they want to continue to work with the international community in providing the Afghan people with the correct humanitarian aid on the part of the United Nations. Here, the United States says that it wants to work with UNAMA. Actually, the UNAMA mandate is expected to expire in September, and what we will see here at the United Nations possibly during this meeting is the support for the UNAMA mission and how it has helped women and children during this transition period as NATO forces, U.S. forces leave Afghanistan, and the importance of having these humanitarian missions stationed in Afghanistan. However, the security situation and the security vacuum is a cause for concern, and all eyes will definitely be on that.
Right, Susan, thank you so much for joining us on WION and for all your inputs. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.